Sometimes we go to interviews, and when they ask us the question, tell us one of your weaknesses, we say, I'm a perfectionist. Um, I always want to make sure that I deliver something perfect until the last moment. I want to still review what I am going to deliver. I have an eye for detail. Come on, you say that in order to impress, right? We both know that you're not saying that as a weakness. You're presenting it as a weakness, and then still you want to impress. That's the thing with perfectionism. Up until now, we have considered perfectionism as something positive, subtly or straightforwardly. Yes, we think that there's something good about perfectionism, and of course, there's something good. But now we are at the moment that we discover that perfectionism is not as positive, healthy, and helpful as we had initially considered. And that's the thing that we are going to discover today, how much of a perfectionist you are. Hi, I'm Vasi Sarandopoulou. I'm a psychologist. I'm an expert in perfectionism. I have been talking and studying about perfectionism the last years nonstop. And I am here in order to help you see not only how much of a perfectionist you are, but also to start a conversation where we will bring more awareness on how perfectionism is connected with our most difficult mental health struggles. Perfectionism is connected, directly related with our anxiety, with our depression, with our burnout, with our eating disorders, with our relationship issues. Perfectionism is there. It's contaminating anything healthy we have in our lives. So that's why today we want to start again this conversation about perfectionism and realizing what it means actually to be a perfectionist. So I have collected for today six main features of perfectionism. Of course, there are more, and you can find them in my guide, How Much of a Perfectionist You Are. It's a free guide, and you can find it also in the comments. I'm going to actually add it here so that I don't forget it. It's a free guide, and you can find 20 features of perfectionism. And you can even score yourself so that you can see how much you score in these guides. So, what I want you to see now is, let's start with the six main features. First of all, a perfectionist aims for results, success. What's wrong with that? Nothing. But what happens is that um, aims only for results and success. A perfectionist is looking for tangible results only. They want external recognition. If what I do is not seen, validated, or recognized and acknowledged by somebody else, what's the point? That's the thing with perfectionism, and we're talking about toxic perfectionism now. That's the thing. We want others to see what we're doing, and we compare ourselves to other people's criteria, other people's expectations. We have already internalized these criteria, and maybe somebody says, no, nobody said to me that I have to be the perfect wife, the perfect mother, or the perfect manager. Nobody told me that, but we have internalized this very early on. And we're doing all that, we're doing all this extra effort so that we can be seen and valued by somebody else, recognized by somebody else, by society even, or that we satisfy the image that we have of the perfect self. So we are aiming at results and success. We are even addicted in this recognition, in this instant gratification. We want all the time to be productive and busy. That's why perfectionists, they want to show to other people that they're doing. And if the other people don't see anything, they don't show any results, they feel as if they're not doing anything. Sometimes we do have to do some backstage work, but for a perfectionist, that seems like nothing. If nobody can see it, what's the point? With that, I said that aiming at success and results, there's nothing wrong with that, only if it's done in a very toxic way. But also, you can recognize how the focus on results is a pathological addiction to results and success when you actually realize, and that's the second feature, that you don't even enjoy being successful. You see somebody saying that when I will reach that goal, I will be happy. And they do reach that goal, but then they're not happy because they have already set the next goal. So you see there how this hamster wheel never stops. And it is one of the main features of a perfectionist that they don't enjoy what they have acquired in their lives, what they have um, won. They don't celebrate. They always keep it for the next goal, for the next step, or they even minimize what they have succeeded so far. Well, it was nothing. I mean, the next one will be more important. This one, not so much. Even though before they said that this will be fireworks for me. If I do that, if I succeed in that, that will be amazing. Still, when they reach that point, they don't feel anything. So when this lack of happiness, joy, satisfaction becomes a constant, you look back and you're like, when was the last time that I enjoyed what I have done? And you're really struggling to find a state of success and satisfaction, a deep satisfaction about yourself, then you know that there must be perfectionism lurking in the dark. That's the second one. Let's go to the third one. The third one is that a perfectionist wants to take all the credit for what they're doing, and that's why they don't ask for help. If you find it difficult to ask for help, if you feel that I have to do everything by myself, I have to uh, really go through that all alone, then that's a very strong sign that you might be a perfectionist. um, it's not out of a selfish reason. It's not that they are entitled or narcissists, even though sometimes this can be also the case, but it's because they think that if somebody else helps me, that means that I struggled. That means that it's not my effort. And that takes away from what I have done. That takes away from the credit that I should take. And they don't want that because they are looking for that credit, for that acceptance, for that validation. And struggling all alone, you know what that means? It means loneliness. So if you notice that you're carrying this feeling that nobody gets you, nobody understands your struggles, nobody's there to support you, you have been carrying this burden all alone, there must be that must be a sign of perfectionism. Loneliness and perfectionism, it goes together very often. That's the third one. The fourth one, we talked about, we know that perfectionism means that I am holding these high standards for myself or for others, or both. I'm very critical to myself. I make a mistake, I judge myself too harshly. I am struggling with the project, I judge myself again. I continuously raise the bar for myself. I should have done better. I should have known more. I should have been more successful by now. I should go faster. All these should and musts there, they're a strong indication of perfectionism. But do you know what else goes together with that? Because again, you might say, well, what's wrong with that? Pushing yourself a little bit more so that you can grow. What's wrong with that? Yeah, of course, sure. But you can understand what's the difference between the healthy and the toxic perfectionism when not only you are judging yourself or you're pushing yourself, but also you are lacking compassion for yourself. And the moment you have a setback, the moment you fail, you are the first one who are going to shame you, blame you, belittle you, offend you for the mistake you've done. You'll be the first one that will say, that's a disaster. I'm so ashamed of you. You'll be the first one that you will say, you're so stupid. You made such a stupid mistake. Nobody else has done such a mistake. Look at you. So it's not only the critical self, which is very strong in perfectionism, but it's also the lack of compassion. When I'm struggling, I don't want to hear these words. When I'm struggling, I want to feel a little bit better. I'm already in pain. I don't want more. So this is also a sign of perfectionism. Let's go to the fifth one, which goes hand in hand also with the sixth one. A perfectionist is afraid of failure. And they're afraid of failure and mistakes and setbacks because they don't want to ruin the perfect plan that they have created for themselves. They don't want to ruin the perfect image that they have created for others. They don't want to ruin the perfect image that they have created for themselves. And that's why they don't want any failures, which of course sounds impossible, right? It sounds impossible to not make mistakes, especially if you're getting out of your comfort zone. Of course, you're gonna make mistakes, but they're so afraid of that, and that sometimes leads to the next feature, which is procrastination. Perfectionists and procrastinators are, in 99 cases out of hundreds, the same person. Because of this overwhelmness that we subdue ourselves, because of the high expectations, because of the fear of failure, because of the harsh criticism, all this emotional overwhelmness, of course, it gets us stuck. Of course, it stops our brain from thinking in a rational way. And talking about brain, of course, our amygdala, the center of fear, is expanded and activated at that moment. And our prefrontal cortex, the center of rational decisions, is under functioning, of course. That's what's happening. That's why fear of failure and procrastination go hand in hand. So, I repeat, focus on results and success, tangible results, and what other people see. A lack of joy and success and happiness for what they have succeeded. Even though they're looking for success, still they don't enjoy the success that they have achieved. Then, struggling all alone, difficulty asking for help, loneliness. Then, being very critical to themselves, but also lacking compassion to themselves. And then, being afraid of failure and procrastination. How many of these you checked? How many of these are happening very often? It's like your daily routine. It's something that has led you to feel stuck and burned out and overwhelmed. Which of these six? And if you want to see all 20 that I have compiled, make sure that you check the guide, check the comments, how much of a perfectionist you are. I'm here to continue the conversation about perfectionism. Let me know your comments or your questions. And of course, in my website, AntiLoneliness.com, you can find so many tools and content about perfectionism. You will read and listen for forever. In the website, AntiLoneliness.com, you're going to find the blogs about perfectionism. And also in the YouTube channel, you're going to find a lot of videos that I have created about all the angles and perspectives of perfectionism and how we can start defeating perfectionism and eventually start living our life and enjoying our life. Thank you for being here. I'm here for your questions and comments. And until next time, take good care of yourself.